Hi, very good morning, everybody. See, in this specific video, we will learn what are the different areas of management research. What are the different areas of management research? See, basically, there are areas of management research. See, for example, when we are talking about an organization, would you like right how an organization is managed? It is divided into different business functions. Example, human resources management, finance, huh, operations, marketing, strategy, like this, right? So, management research can also be done in any of these specific areas. Management research can also be done in any of these specific areas. See, when you are identifying a problem for your research, right, so you can choose any of these business functions and try to dig more into that specific area, right. See, I will explain you in this specific video what are the different areas of management research and what could be the subtopics of each area. What could be the subtopics? No example we will explore. We will explore some of the examples. Right. So let's first see with respect to management research, the widely held research comes under human resources management. HR and OB. You can find a lot of research. A lot of research has been done in human resources management and organizational behavior specific areas. Right. To start with, let us start with HRM. Let us start with HRM. HRM means what? Human resources management. Human resources management is one broad management area wherein we can do research work. Right. So when we talk about human resources management, what all will come into picture? Human resources planning, HR planning, HR planning, right? HR planning, right? So you can find out what is the relationship between what HR planning and organizational performance. HR planning and organizational performance. Now it can be one research area, organizational performance, right? Similarly, training, training effectiveness, training effectiveness, recruitment and training effectiveness. There you can find out the relationship. Recruitment is one area. Recruitment, selection, hmm, effectiveness of performance management system inside an organization. Effectiveness of performance management system. Performance management system. Hmm. So you can find out what is the relationship between individual performance and organizational performance. There can be relationship. You can find that can be one area. What is the relationship between team performance and organizational performance? Is there any relationship or not? No, these kind of areas we can explore, right? See, performance management. See, other areas can be HR strategy. HR strategy. HR strategy is one more area. Huh? Right. See, when we are talking about the human resources management, all these areas, can be further dig into. All these areas can be further dig into. Right. So, let us move on to another area, a broad area, that is organizational behavior. Organizational behavior. See, when we are talking about organizational behavior, what all mainly come into picture? Individuals, teams, organization structure, organization culture, all these things will come into picture when we are talking about organizational behavior. So specific areas can be individual attitude and organizational effectiveness. Now we can keep effectiveness. Similarly, individual behavior and organizational performance. Organizational performance. You know, similarly, group team behavior and organizational performance. Organizational performance. Otherwise, leadership style of the manager and the team performance. No, there can be one area. No, like leadership style, leadership style, and team performance. No, all these areas will come into organizational behavior, right? No, you are studying individual attributes, individual behavior. Huh? Similarly, team behavior, huh? Team competencies, and team performance. Is there any relationship? Huh? Right. Similarly, impact of project manager behavior on individual performance. No, that also no you can relate. No team member and leader behavior. No, like this, you can explore different areas in with respect to organizational behavior. Similarly, organizational culture. Is there any relationship between organizational culture and organizational performance? Very important. Culture only drives the performance, right? Culture only drives the performance, right? So, is there any relationship between organizational culture and organizational performance? This can be one research area. Similarly, is there any relationship between organizational structure and organizational performance? Is there any relationship between organizational structure? Some of the organizations nowadays, knowledge-based organizations, they will have flat organization structure. Is there any relationship between organization structure and organizational performance also? That could be one area. Organizational structure and organizational performance. Is there any relationship? Like this, you can explore different areas with respect to organizational behavior. With respect to organizational behavior, the moment we are talking about organizational behavior means individuals behavior, team behavior, organizational characteristics like structure, culture, climate. These things will come into picture. Otherwise, team size and team performance. Is there any relationship? Is there any ideal team size? Is there any ideal team size? That could be one research area, right? So like this, there can be different research areas with respect to organizational behavior. Organizational behavior. Okay, let's move on and learn about operations. What are the different management research areas in operations management? Operations management. So let's move on. So this is operations management. Operations management. Specific to operations management, what areas can be there with respect to research? Operations management. Operations means what all will come into picture? Huh? Project management. First area comes is project management. Project management. Okay. No, project management areas, no, I don't want to disclose because that is my area. So, okay, don't worry, I will tell you as we move on in the video. So, some of the areas I will tell you. Okay, with respect to project management, what you can explore. Right. So, project management is one area. Next comes supply chain management. Supply chain management. Supply chain management. You know, this can be one area. Next, what? After supply chain management, logistics management. Huh? Logistics management. This can be one area. Transportation management. You know, transportation management. Huh? Inventory management. You know, inventory also, right? Inventory operations. Inventory management. Huh? Scheduling. Networking. Routing. All these things come under operations, right? Now you can relate these things with the organizational performance, or individuals skill set inside the organization and some of these areas, right? So like this you can construct a research problem. Any of these area you can take, and any specific macro dependent variable you can identify and then relate from these areas. So this is about operations management. This is about operations management, right? So far, what is that we discussed? We have seen different areas of research with respect to HRM, with respect to organizational behavior, with respect to operations, right? Let's move on and see some of the areas with respect to finance. With respect to, no, before going into finance, I want to tell you about strategy. With respect to strategic management, with respect to strategic management, what could be the research areas for a researcher, management researcher? What could be the research areas for a management researcher? Strategic management. Strategic management. With respect to strategy, what all will come into picture when we talk about strategy? Strategy formulation. Huh? Strategy formulation. Next, strategy implementation. Strategy implementation. Next comes strategy evaluation. Strategy evaluation. This also comes, right. Huh? Is there any relationship between strategy formulation and organizational growth? You can find out relationship. Is there any relationship between strategy formulation, strategic planning? Instead of that, you can say strategic planning. You can say strategic planning. Strategic planning. Is there any relationship between strategic planning and organizational growth? Is there any relationship with respect to research? Next, competition. When we talk about what will come in strategy, competition. Competition. Are the new entrants affecting the organizational financial performance? Are the new entrants into the market affecting the organizational financial performance? Or some of the areas, right? So next, what competition is one. Next, positioning means what factors impact me in positioning my company as a top player in the world, maybe number one player in the world. Let us say an organization like General Electric, or some of the organizations like Microsoft, or some of the companies. General Electric philosophy, when Jack Welch was there, what was their philosophy? If we are in some business, we have to be in top three positions. That was his strategy, right? So that was that is their strategy. When Jack Welch was there, General Electric, they were having a strategy of we want to be top two players, whatever is the business we do. So like this. So these are the areas you can explore with respect to management research in strategy. Next comes what? Let us see finance. Next comes finance. What areas of finance we can explore? See, finance areas, a lot of areas are there. For example, accounting. 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 If you want to do accounting, case study based accounting practices would be the best approach. Case study based accounting practices, right? If you want to do research in accounting, You can, so that you can go to the 2 3 organizations and do the case study based research in accounting. Next one would what, investment banking. Hmm? Investment banking. Investment banking is one area. You know, is the VC funding is related to market capitalization of my startup or not? Is VC funding, is there any relationship? No, the moment VC will invest in at different intervals of time over a period of startup life cycle, right? So, in that, is there any relationship between VC funding and my market capitalization? Is the valuation of my company is growing or not? The moment more funding is coming, so you can find out relationship. That is no investment banking. Similarly, is there any relationship between promoter stake and organizational performance? That could be one area. Promoter promoter stake and organizational performance. Is there any research? For example, a promoter is having more than 50% of the stake in my organization. That means he is more committed to the organization. Is there any relationship between that and the organizational performance? Can be explored. One of the research area. With respect to finance. So next one would be what, uh, see, like this, with respect to finance, uh, financial manager's skill set, finance manager skill level, and organizational profitability. It can be skill level you are measuring skills. Similarly, is there any relationship between sales and profit? Sales and profit. Is there any relationship? No, of course, sales comes under marketing, right? Marketing area we will keep. Now we will move on to marketing stream. We will move on to marketing area. Marketing, right? So what all will come in marketing? Marketing means what? Advertising. Advertising. Next, promotion. Product promotion. Product promotion. Advertising promotion will come. Next come positioning. Product positioning. Product positioning. Next comes sales. And next comes place. Is there any relationship between place and market share? The place of my manufacturing plant and market share what I have in the business. Is there any relationship? That can also be found out. Is there, for example, if you take Indian economy, Maharashtra and Gujarat, they were, GDP contribution was high, right? Is there any relationship between place and market share of the companies? That can be explored further, right? So this is one of the about marketing areas, right? So let's move on and learn about another area of research. So far we covered HR, human resources management areas with respect to research, organizational behavior. We have seen operations management, strategic management, finance and marketing areas, right? Let's move on and explore about the entrepreneurship. See, this is important, right? See, the moment across the world, when we are talking about entrepreneur attributes, personality, his interests, education qualifications, demographic variables, and relationship to entrepreneurship. These are widely researched with respect to management. You can find out in literature with respect to when we talk about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship. See, wide research was done on entrepreneur attributes. Entrepreneur, they focused on the entrepreneur across the community, research community. So they have focused mostly on the entrepreneur attributes, behavior, education, skill level, experience, demographic variables, demographic, you know, ethnic background. These kind of variables were considered with respect to entrepreneurship research. Entrepreneurship research, right? So another thing can be, for example, is there any macro level? If you look at, is there any relationship between entrepreneurship, the growth in number of startups, growth, and relationship between GDP? Is there any relationship between the growth in number of startups and the GDP growth rate? Is there any relationship? We can find out. That is with respect to entrepreneurship. Similarly, entrepreneurship, what all will come? Entrepreneur skill level, or entrepreneurial team. So like this, you can explore. Similarly, entrepreneur tenure and organizational success. Entrepreneur tenure and organizational success. Entrepreneur tenure inside the startup and organizational success. This can be further. Factors impacting entrepreneurship. Now, what factors are contributing to entrepreneurship? Factors contributing to entrepreneurial behavior. Entrepreneurial behavior. What factors are really contributing to entrepreneurial behavior in an individual? This can be researched. Success factors of an entrepreneur. Success factors of an enterprise at macro level. If you want to see what could be success factors of an enterprise, what could be success factors of an entrepreneur, these are some of the areas. Right. Next comes, see, further. Uh, Further areas can be, last but not the least, link economics with management. That could be interesting. See, link economics with management research. Economics means what all will come into picture? Macro variables, GDP will come. Next, FDI, foreign direct investment inside a country. FDI coming to country. Next, literacy rate, unemployment rate. So, human development index, right? Investments, agriculture investment, infrastructure investment. You see, for example, I have done a research. You can find that video on YouTube also. See, that is top 5 factors contributing to Indian GDP, Indian states GDP. I could find that agricultural investments and infrastructure investments inside a country are contributing. They are positively correlated to the GDP of a state. I could find empirically. So similarly, these kind of variables we can further research. See this. What is this? Is there any relationship between economic growth and market capitalization of the country? Total market capitalization of the country. See, economic growth. Is there any relationship between economic growth and market capitalization? Market capitalization. This could be one area. Then sometimes even economy may be going down, but however the equity market, stock market will be very zooming up. What is the relationship? Is there any relationship for a period of time? You can find it. Do the research. Right. Next, relationship between literacy, literacy rate, and economic development or economy. Literacy rate. Relationship between unemployment rate and economic development. Unemployment rate and GDP. Is there any relationship between unemployment rate and GDP? Similarly, human development index, HDI. Is there any relationship between human development index and GDP of the country? Some of the countries, their GDP may be less, but they have higher human development index. Is there any relationship? When we talk about economic research, similarly, inflation. Similarly, inflation. What is the relationship between inflation and GDP growth? And GDP growth. Is there any relationship between inflation and GDP growth? Similarly, inflation. Relationship between inflation and human development index. Is there a relationship between inflation and the human development index? Is it negatively impacting the human development index? Similarly, inflation and health attributes, health of the nation, human individuals' health in the country. Is there any relationship between inflation and health factors, health variables? That can be further research. Macro level, we are talking about macro level with respect to economic variables. What all can be explored further? What all can be explored? Right. See, we discussed, right? So economy means all these variables: literacy, unemployment, inflation. All these things will come into picture, right? So far, what is that we discussed? What can be the other areas? Innovation, innovation, marketing we discussed, right? See, innovation can be innovation management of the firm, and is there any relationship between innovation and market capitalization of the company or the sales of the company? Relationship between innovation and sales of the company, is there any relationship? Now, I am making new products every year, but if is my sales are growing or not, revenues are growing or not, is there any relationship? Innovations I am making and the new products I am developing and the sales growth, is there any relationship? So these are all the areas we can explore with respect to management research. These are all the areas with respect to management research. See, so far what is that we covered? We have discussed it. What are the different areas of management research? What are the different areas of management research wherein we can choose a topic for our research paper or a PhD? Right. So just go through what is that we covered. We covered human resources management, organizational behavior areas. Next we covered operations management, strategic management areas, finance, marketing, entrepreneurship, and economics. Right. So let's just go through this table couple of minutes. You focus and go through it. Okay. Thank you everybody. Okay, this is for learning purpose. Okay. Thank you everybody. Just focus couple of minutes and see the table, whether you will be able to see it.